shotgun blast hit right where I was standing to the right of me. I drew my gun out and I saw where the flash came, so I popped two, and then I went around, and then there was a truck. So it starts up the car, the truck. It's taking off, and I'm popping it. Well, my name is Malvin Traylor. I am the owner of Vigilant Protection Division and Apex Tactical Institute, which is security academy as well as a law enforcement training facility and for civilians. My partner Hernandez is also part of both entities, the security company and the security academy. We blended them together.
Okay. How did you get started in this industry?
Actually, I was, my background is hand-to-hand defensive tactics instructor.
Okay.
So several years ago, a gentleman by the name of Fulcher said, "Hey, could you potentially train my security officers?" I said, "Sure." So I was already training law enforcement and special operations teams at the time anyway. So I figured, sure. But then I realized that I had to be licensed in the state to be a security training officer, instructor. So I got my license and did all that. And I saw a very big need in the security industry for training.
So prior to that, what actually got you into like training in general?
Well, I was probably around 5, maybe. I was doing, I wanted to do martial arts, the Kung Fu movies that you saw.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, I want to do that. So I started off in Kung Fu, then I went to Taekwondo, and then I went to American kickboxing. And then it kind of changed from American kickboxing to international, what we now know as Muay Thai. And then, of course, MMA or BJJ came, and then MMA. And so slow progression from traditional to unconventional, and then to reality-based combatives is where I'm at now.
Okay, so started in martial arts, developed that. And how many years were you doing martial arts before you got into training? Were you training martial arts itself first?
Yes, I was in the martial arts industry first, and that's what catapulted me into the security training industry and in the security industry in general.
Were you in security first or law enforcement?
I was in law enforcement.
No, I mean the training.
I was in martial arts first.
Okay.
And then some of the instructors I trained under, Vunak, for example, he trained the Navy SEALs from 1987 to 1990, roughly right up in there. And what actually pushed me into the law enforcement and the military side as well.
Very good. So you started, how long have you had the security and law enforcement training academy now?
I've been in the industry probably over 12 years, and I opened up my own academy and my partner within the last 8 months, our actual own.
Okay, so that's a new venture.
Yes.
Okay, so what were you doing prior to that? Were you working for
I was working for another company.
Okay, so then you decided to start your own. Okay.
Right.
And you actually have a security company also.
Right, Vigilant Protection Division. We've been open for a little over a year with that one.
Okay.
And the industry within the last 15 years has quadrupled in need.
Okay. Opportunities.
Opportunities and need. One of the main issues in the industry, well, there's 3 technically. One, the lack of training. 2, the company that hires you slaps a uniform on you. Here you go. Here's a phone number. Something happens, call me.
Yeah.
And then 3, the officer himself or the guard, not officer. There's a difference between a guard and an officer within the industry. A guard is someone, I'll take the uniform and I'll sit and hopefully I won't fall asleep. Where an officer takes the initiative to find training, invest in himself, and invest in the gear. This also applies for the security company. Most companies don't reinvest or invest in the officers. At best, they'll give you, here's a video, sit down and watch it. There's your training. There's no hands-on. That's where me and my partner decided that can't be. So we make it a policy that officers have about 60 to 80 hours of contact training a year. In fact, we just did a CPR at no cost to our officers. We invested that. So that way, if something was to happen, our officers are trained to do that, to save lives, to actually be part of the community and not a dollar sign at the end of it.
Yeah, okay.
So we've also invested in 8,000 square foot facility where we have a force on force area for judgment pistol shooting, how to traverse corners, doorways for an active shooter, especially now since Governor Abbott states that security officers can now be at schools.
Yeah.
Okay, so they need to have training. What type of training has a security officer got for an active shooter? None. Police, barely any themselves. They have the alert system, but they only have to do it once every 2 years. That's not really good for a potential life-threatening situation within the school system.
Yeah. How do you think, like, you're seeing it from the inside, okay? So in terms of guards v officers, what would you say is the percentage that you see?
Guards versus officers?
Yeah.
A huge difference.
Yeah.
99.99% of most people in the security industry are guards.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because the company themselves don't invest.
Yeah.
So if you go to the academy and you can say, hey, man, give you an extra 50, just sign me off. Okay, sign you off. And now when you come to me, another instructor for requalification, okay, load the gun up for me. Oh, I don't know how. Oh, so you taking a reclass? No. I'll go, okay, I don't understand. You got your level 3 card, yeah? And you don't know how to load your own gun?
That's
well,
crazy.
I never went to the thing. They just passed me.
So how much is that happening? Do you think?
Probably about 60%, if not more.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's bad. I'll put it this way. I was doing a requalification, and I usually have my son start off with the firearms portion. We had a guy that loaded his bullets backwards. And that takes talent, to be honest.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
We had another guy that came in on the security and for a job interview from another company, and he had an airsoft gun that he carried while he was working.
Oh, I've seen.
And the security company gave it to him.
That's crazy.
We took it from him.
So, the regulation for training and certification, in your opinion, how can it be improved? It just seems just like it's too easy to get around.
It's very, especially now
Yeah.
with the new way that they're doing things. It's kind of better and kind of not. Before you got one certificate.
Yeah.
Now it's one certificate, but there's 3 categories.
Okay.
Now, not all instructors are able to do all 3 categories, which is classroom, self-defense, and firearms. I have all 3. So we just within the last week did about 3 or 4, and they did the online. Then they had to come to me to do the in-person self-defense and in-person handgun. And I got guys coming all the way from Dallas.
Is that a level 3 or level 2 training?
Level 3.
Okay.
Level 3 is 45 contact hours of training.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is really, excuse me, nothing.
And people were like getting around that before this.
Yeah. Some places, if you give an extra $100, sign you off
Without taking the time.
without actually taking the course. Or you didn't qualify at the gun range, but they qualified you anyway for an extra 50.
Mm-hmm.
And I ask people straight up, I go, how did you ever, well, the guy just gave me, I go, so there's 2 problems. You wanting the shortcut and the instructor giving you the shortcut.
Yeah, it's like it's a problem on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, starting this venture and the security company, what was the most difficult things to overcome starting out?
Keeping the standard. In fact, that's Vigilance Protection Division's slogan, setting the standard. We, at our company, we invest in our officers heavily. We buy the gear that they need. Obviously, we charge them on the back end, but we make sure that the gear is exactly what they need. not what you think you need.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we train our officers, okay, this is an external carrier. You want this here, you want this here, you want this here. You want a low ride here, you want your mags here, you want your cuffs here, your baton, your pepper spray, and your backup cuffs in the back. Well, why? Why? I worked at this company and they didn't care. I go, well, they didn't care about you because you were a dollar sign.
Yeah.
We care because at the end of the day, if you have to do something, your gear is set up to be biomechanically correct. The last thing you need to do is come across your body to grab a magazine when it's more proficient to be on your left. So we set the standard. And there's a lot of guards that come that we have to convert them to officers, both through appearance, mind and attitude, and then the most important, knowledge, because knowledge is power.
Yeah, for sure.
The more knowledgeable an officer is, the less liability we'll have. So we take the time, and it's about a 2-week program, if I remember. When we hire them, they go a week of orientation and then a week of training in how we do things, and they get paid for it. Most companies, their training is 30 seconds, if that. In fact, this is the norm. Okay, you want to get hired? Not a problem. Here you go. Let me see your gear. Great. Okay, all right. Here's a phone number. Here's the address you need to go. Make sure you get there. Call me. Boom, you're there. Okay, great. That's it. That's their training. No one shows up. Where to go to the bathroom? Do I eat in my car? Or if something bad happens, is this number you gave me any good? And am I allowed to leave if there's bad weather? Or where do I go if there's bad weather? None of that's given to the officer. He's just there by himself.
Do you have people, have they tried to, like when they come for training and you've explained to them the process, the time it takes, have they asked, like, is there a way around that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
In fact, out of the 20 people that we consider, my partner Hernandez, I told him he was arrogant because the way that he was doing the hiring process. And it came back to bite me in the butt because it really narrowed the field down. He's former law enforcement. He's a master peace officer. He's also former military. And we went from 20 or 30 people down to 3. And they were saying, man, you guys are too much. What do you mean we're too much? You're expecting too much. I go, what, to train you?
Correctly.
I know a lot. You do. What's 30.05? What do you mean? What's 30.05? How about 4201? How about 4801? Do you know any of those? And you've been in the industry 15 years, correct? Yeah. So tell me the difference between theft, robbery, and burglary. That you don't know. Heck, you don't even know how to clear a stoppage drill. Yet you've been doing this 15 to 20 years. But you can't tap, rack, and assess your weapon. Why? Because there's no real standard. We set the standard. That's why our motto. So when they come to us, first thing we look at is the gear. Okay, you got a Widowmaker on. And that's the old school universal one holster that you put in with the Velcro and you snap. We call those Widowmakers. Because in a physical altercation, it's going to fall, you're going to lose it. 80% of the officers that lose their firearms are murdered by them.
Yes.
So
when it comes to your security company side of things, so you invest heavily into
training.
Into making guards officers, and then I guess you hire them, and then when you present to your clients that you have an almost elite standard of service and protection and all those things, how much harder is it for you to be able to get clients that in a space where they can get cowboys, basically?
It's difficult because a lot of security companies are fly by night. They'll do it for cheap and pay their officers cheap. So it brings the standard down across the whole industry.
Yeah, then it doesn't make sense for you to be taking that contract where it's like, it's not worth or you can't even pay the guys enough that are valuable people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue.
Yeah.
We're struggling with that even now.
Yeah.
Our clients, they get that knee-jerk reaction of the previous security company.
Yeah.
You know, but when we go and we discuss what we do and how we do it, the first thing that they notice is our uniform. They're like, whoa, these guys are tightened up right.
Yeah. A good uniform like commands respect.
Right. You know, when we train our officers, we let them know that there's a presence that has to be felt, right? And the worst thing that you can be is a Barney Five. You know, walk around, how you doing? You know, no command presence.
Yeah.
Like like the training says. So I trained the officers, and we talked to officers about a show of force, passive show of force, right? What do you mean a show of force? Okay, is your presence. It's a show of force. They see the gun, they see the pepper spray, they see the taser, they see, you know, you in the uniform. You're looking legit. You're not being overly aggressive. You're being courteous, being professional. But there's a show of presence, which is different than going into the active show of force. There's a show of force, just me being there, right?
100%.
Passively.
Yeah.
And then there's a show of active force, which is if I have an issue with you and you're not adhering to my request and you're being antagonistic and potentially threaten my physical wealth, then I go from a show of force passively to an active show of force where I might put my hand on my taser or my baton into the use of force. So the ability for officers to go to that ladder helps a lot. If an officer is not trained as such, he's going to jump right to the use of force.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know any better.
Yeah. That's like a deep understanding, and I feel like just the industry in general. Like we obviously deal with a bunch of officers here that come in. You know, you can see and you can tell from the way they act, or you know what they're trying to buy and stuff like that. But yeah, it's such a deep and big problem across the board. What do you think can be done to improve it generally?
Honestly, it's training. It's all about training.
Do you think like you could make enough noise to where the state would pay attention?
Yes. You know, there's ISIS, which is the security litigation and where they go to the state.
Yeah.
And it's they go and they get things done. Like this year they passed where as a level 3 you got to get your MMPI.
Yeah.
Okay. Before it was just your level 4.
Yeah.
So ISIS is the one that created that to make that possible.
Okay.
Also changed some of the laws where you weren't allowed to have red and blues. Before you could have them on your vehicle as long as you were on private property.
Mm-hmm.
But now you can't. You got to have white and amber or white and green or, you know, no emergency colors, red or blues, which is fine. But if like, for example, Apex Tactical, we're developing a system similar to Alert, which is what law enforcement is being trained. My son and I are Alert certified on the civilian end. Okay. Which is nice. It gives a knowledge base. The problem is that security doesn't have it. Because it's civilian based, there's no initiation of contact with firearms.
Yeah.
Well, if there's an armed security officer there, you better know how to traverse corners. You better know how to do CPR, BLS, or AED, or stop the bleed. Because he is truly the first responder. He's first on scene.
Yeah.
All your eggs are in that basket of his.
Yeah.
So he better be trained. So we developed a system called Response, and that's all I can say about it right now. But it's strictly for security personnel and the teachers that are allowed to carry firearms in the school.
Going back to the what you were saying about the updates from the, what was it, the ICE something?
Well, it's a PSB, the Private Security Bureau. That's where the updates come from.
Okay.
DPS.
Yeah. So how does one stay up to date with that stuff?
Well, excuse me, two ways. As an instructor, on the instructor end, they'll give you bulletins. Said, hey,
Is it proactive or is it reactive? Do they send it to you or do you have to go to them to?
both,
Okay.
because sometimes they don't get it out.
Uh-huh.
So you have to constantly go back. I think my son, he had to download the newest version, which was 2024, and I had the 2022.
Okay.
And I just downloaded it the week prior.
Uh-huh.
So there's like, what? So I had to go back in. They didn't give me a notification, so I had to go back in and re-download the new changes. On the security end, same thing. You're supposed to have an email. They're supposed to let you know, but it behooves anybody in the industry that's an owner that has a decent manager or director of operations that they need to go and check what the state regulatory are now and how it's changed.
Okay, so over the last 10 years, how would you say the industry has changed?
It hasn't changed much. There's still companies that are fly by night, pay under the table, don't have insurance, charge so cheap that it's a one or two people operation. They're doing it out of their house. They're not insured. It's just a smorgasbord of craziness. So it hasn't changed. Now, it has gotten a little bit better as far as regulatory, but still, I mean, I can today or this evening, I can go to the Galleria area or right around, and I'll see security officers out of state regs. They'll have their gun, they'll have a badge, and that's it. Is that police? No, I'm security. Well, you're supposed to have security on you somewhere. You're supposed to have your name somewhere, and you're supposed to have the company patch, at minimum, on the outermost garment. But you don't have none of that.
Yeah. It's a non-compliance.
And it's rampant. And then when a legitimate company that wants to come in and do it right, oh, well, we got that guy for $15 an hour and we're charging $35. Well, look at him and then look at us.
The giants in this industry, they get a lot of stick, and I mean, it speaks for itself. I see it all the time. I'm assuming you know the giants, right?
Oh, yeah.
So in New York, Times Square, in uniform, smoking weed, those kind of things. So if those guys are setting such a low standard of, whatever, how do you compete with that? Even I've heard that like Allied, the way they bill clients, how low it is. Do you know about that?
Well, we deal with a lot of aftermath.
Yeah. Okay. So
of theirs.
You're picking up that pieces.
For example, they got hit. I think it was Tennessee with $135,000 something for having. I don't remember the number, but having people working that were not state licensed. Here in Texas, it was the same thing. So
it's a publicly traded company, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is. And they acquired G4S for like $1.3 billion.
Yeah, they've acquired, I think, the top 5. They got 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn. Who else did they get?
Well, it was Universal. It became Allied Universal,
yeah.
And then they got G4S, and then they took over one other company. But yeah, I mean, with their marketing and their team, and the funny part is Allied does a lot of decent things, but when it comes to the training, the concepts are there,
Yeah.
but the follow through is not.
Yeah, it's like, when you have a company that large, there's no ownership. Like, I'm assuming, like, if I ask you now, why don't you just do what these other people do, fly by night, and just cut out all this extra headache and just make some money and, just squeeze it for, you know what I'm saying? Why? What is it that you want by serving quality?
Actually, several things. The first and foremost is the guy that's making me the money. I used to be that guy. And I know what it means to go through the bullshit of companies treat me like a secondhand citizen,
Yeah.
and then letting the clients treat us like secondhand citizens.
Yeah, yeah.
We're here to catch the bullet for you, but yet you want us to eat out in our car and not in a nice table.
Yeah, yeah.
Wrap my head around that one. I want the officers to know that what people have lost, and across any industry, is the fact that it's a give and take right now, but it's supposed to be you give, right? For example, when you go to an interview, the company acts like you're lucky that I'm interviewing you. What are you talking about? I went to an interview. I won't name the name of the company. I went to an interview, and they said, "So tell me, why should I hire you?" I said, "Sir, did you look at my resume? Because it's self-evident." "Well, I want you to explain to me." "Okay, I explained to you, not a problem, sir, but did you look at my resume?" No, I didn't." "Okay, so you came here unprepared for this interview." He goes, "Excuse me?" I go, "You came unprepared for this interview.
Yeah.
You didn't bother looking at anything so that you can have an understanding of who I am or where I'm coming from. You want to do it on the spot." So my question to you is, what do you bring to the table? Why should I work for your company? Do you offer 401k, dental, vision? Do you offer any of that? Paid vacations? Any upward mobility? He goes, "Excuse me, sir, you're interviewing for this job." "Yeah, I'm also interviewing your company because you're a reflection of this company. And right now, it's not a good one." So, but the problem is that the security guards don't have that command. Why? Because they were never trained correctly. Crap in when you start at the academy level. Crap when you get to a company that doesn't care about you. Here's your uniform. Here's what you got to do. Here's a number. Go there. And then 3, the end, is the security guard. It's up to him to get the training he needs. And if he doesn't, well, he's only copying what was given to him from day one of this thing. So the officer has nowhere to go. If the companies don't care, if you're just a dollar sign, if, like you said, why don't I just cut out all that and make my money? One, because I was one of the guys that made you your money. I know what it felt like to be working 12-hour shifts. And I didn't know if the number that I had, that if anything happened, that I would have any help.
Yes, you want to be the guy that you wanted when you were in their position. Yeah. And it's probably integrity based, just
it has to be integrity based. It has to be where you understand that the only reason I'm on top of the totem pole is because I got people that are underneath me that support me. And if I crap on the people that support me, where am I going to be? That's why you have such a high turnover rate in a lot of these companies, because they don't train.
Yeah.
They don't care about their people.
Yeah.
And so you got guys that are jumping around, which looks bad on them.
Yeah.
When I look at potential officers to hire, why are they jumping around so much?
Yeah. What's your initial thoughts when you see that?
Why are they jumping around? Are they a problem?
Yeah.
Or are they coming from a problem?
And when you dig a little deeper into it, what do you usually find?
I find that the company didn't care.
Yeah.
They didn't pay them the last check, or they'll make this. Well, in our policy says that if you don't give a 2 weeks notice, you go down to minimum wage.
Yeah.
Well, once it gets the law to do that.
Yeah. I've seen it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, those are the issues that are faced a lot of security officers and security guards in general. And it's difficult for a company like mine and Hernandez's that to bring people in. The standard is high, and they're like, why? They're not used to that. They're not used to accountability. They're used to being by themselves all night with, if they're lucky, someone come once a month to check on them if they're lucky.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they don't know that you're there.
When you hire someone, you've selected somebody, they've gone through the training process. Do you, as a company, make it, I don't want to say difficult, but do you make it challenging for somebody to get into with your company?
Yes.
Okay. And does that yield good results in terms of retention?
Yes, we've been open, like I said, a little over a year. We've only lost one officer out of 27.
Yeah, so you got a solid retention rate.
Yeah. And because they see it. Like I said, we just did a free CPR BLS course at no charge for our officers.
No.
And we're getting ready to do another one Wednesday, and then the following week we're doing weapons handling, weapon safety, disassembly, reassembly, cleaning their weapons, and stoppage drills.
What do you think are if they were to do the absolute minimum that they could, what would be the best certifications that they should get?
Certifications?
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. From the academy side, not the security entity side, not from VPD, when we get cadets, like my son was helping me teach cadet, and that officer who didn't know anything connected with him and said, thank you. My son and I were just doing our job, but he really appreciated the patience and the time we took. The certifications that are needed, we'd say, look, anything that you want on you, you'd be certified in. Second, get certifications that are indicative of the industry. I tell all my people that come through the academy, well, what should I do, Mr. Traylor? I said, first, go to FEMA, go to online training, and do anything that's security, and just put in the search term security. So there'll be workplace security awareness, retail security awareness. There's another one that's violence in the workplace. Take those. Pad your resume. Okay. Then take any of the I think it's called SIMS, NIMS, National Infrastructure Management, Security Safety Protocol, whatever. I don't remember exactly. But take some of those NIMS, and that way you will have a resume that shows that you invested your time, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Get that. Any certification that's indicative that will make you look good in the industry, take. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that the company that hires you gives two craps.
Yeah.
Right? It's for you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the patches are irrelevant. It's what's here at the end of the day. Because the strongest, mightiest weapon is your mind.
For sure.
Right? So these officers have to be taught from the beginning they start the academy, through their process at the end, through getting ready to be hired, that knowledge is power. Training is the key. The Word of God says, my people suffer for the lack of knowledge. Well, that goes across all of it.
Yeah.
Right? So it behooves us from the academy side to train the people 100% legit. So later, when they come back, and they always do, they say, Traylor, I'm not going to no one but you, because you take the time to show me. You take the time to tell me, and I'm not an easy person. I'm not. They'll tell you, don't square up with me, especially when I know you're BSing.
Yeah.
Because I'll call you on it. Okay, and that's what's needed in the industry. What do I need to do? How do I need to do it? Does it hurt us? 'Cause some people go, well, why are you giving that information? You keep it in-house. No, I want the industry to get better. I don't want it to get worse.
So when it comes to your security side, when it comes to the quality of service, how do you maintain that quality throughout?
Investment in people. Most companies, they say they have a dispatch. Okay. But it's only to answer questions if someone gets a phone call.
Yeah.
It's not really dispatch.
Yeah.
We have a literal dispatch. Our officers get called. We call it a wellness check. Hey, are you okay? Everything fine? Yeah. Sometimes we'll give information. Hey, there's a bad weather front coming in. Looks like it's scheduled to hit you about midnight. Be ready for it. Oh, okay, thanks. Right? So our officers right now, they know, hey, someone's out there for us. We're not there by ourselves. And that in and of itself makes a big difference. Yeah, the client likes it because they got someone, they'll get someone, overnight. And then during the day, it'll be either me or my partner or my son or whoever we have that's answering the phones. But, the fact that the officer knows, hey, I have backup if something happens. And that's the most important.
What's the hardest part of managing the team?
Getting everybody's mindset in the right direction. Even though we're training people, the majority are not used to having someone checking them, right? Because the entire time they've been doing the security industry, they're out there by themselves. There's no accountability.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's Big Brother, right? We're calling you every hour. You okay? Supervisors running through, right? And some people don't like that. Man, why are you all in my business?
Yeah.
Because you're representing our business.
Yeah. If I was to come and join your team and go through the process, break it down. What does it look like? What would the whole process look like?
Well, it depends. If you're coming in non-licensed versus licensed, right?
So say non-licensed, somebody completely new.
So let's say that you come in, you're former military, let's say, because we like former military people a lot. Former military, so we know that you're used to taking orders. You know that you're used to a team environment. So we'll bring you in and say, okay, we want to hire you. Here's the thing. You're not licensed. So you got to spend a week in training, and it's going to cost you, $225 for the training. We'll invest in the training in the beginning, but you got to pay us back. So you got a week of training. During that week, I'm evaluating you as a potential officer, even though we hired you. Want to see what issues are we going to have? Are you knowledgeable? Do you take criticism well? Do you follow orders well? Stuff like that, right? So we're watching. Once you go past that, and I evaluate you, I then tell my partner, hey, he's pretty good on this, but he has a little issue with, let's say, that. So during the next process is the orientation process. Okay, you got your license, or you're getting your license. Now you're going to go through a week of training and orientation. Okay, so during that week, we tell you how our company works, who your supervisors are, how you get paid, when you get paid, what our policies for overtime, what our policies are for holiday pay, all that. We go through that. So okay, so there's your week. Okay, during that week of orientation and training, because now we have to also teach you what to buy. Because remember, if you're coming in fresh and you don't have no gear, no gun, no nothing, now we have to show you what type of gun should I get, what type of holster. Well, on the academy level, we teach you how to put duty belt together. Most academies don't.
Yeah.
Okay, so we show you where to put things. So we say, okay, this is the holsters that we have. These are the ones that we suggest. We won't accept these, so don't bother buying those. Okay, so boom. So during that time, we teach you what to buy. We also, and so like I said, we'll buy the first uniform for you. Because when you get out there, we want you set. We don't want you working on it,
Yeah, for sure.
right? Because again, you're representing our company. You are the face of our company. I'm not there. My partner isn't there. No one's there but you. So the training has to be on point where you can articulate to the client. If you talk directly to the client and the client doesn't see any difference between you or me or my partner.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good outlook. Yeah.
Right? So the second week, it's orientation. The third week, we're getting ready to put you out. We'll put you with one of our wherever locations is. So we have different divisions, and there are supervisors for each division. So we say, okay, you're going to be with Supervisor Noble. He is your team lead. Okay, he's going to teach you on post. He'll be on post with you for the entire night, which is expensive, having two people at one location.
Yeah, client's paying for one guy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is not a 15-minute, okay, you do this. Right? Now, there are some locations, it's pretty kind of dummy proof. See that material? Uh-huh. Make sure no one takes it. Okay,
Yeah.
Slam dunk, right?
Yeah.
No real training there.
Yeah.
Okay, but some locations, hey, you have to lock up all the pools. You have to make sure all the doors and windows are secure. You have to make sure that the fire equipment is working and is active. You know, all that. You have to make your rounds every hour. You know, how do you initiate contact with someone in the middle of the night? You know, keep your distance, cautionary gap, reactionary gap, whatever nomenclature you want to use. You know, we have to train them. We just don't put them out there because in this world now, especially now, there's 101 trillion variations of shit can hit the fan.
Yeah.
And I can't train you in every one of them.
Yeah.
So if you have a base to go off of, then the officer understands. So we take our time in training our officers. That's what I say, we invest. Once he's there for that day, then we leave him. Dispatch checks in on him. Our supervisors will roll through occasionally, check up on him. So, if, for example, if we do a wellness call and no one answers, we'll activate the body cam. If the body cam shows black and we don't hear anything, supervisors initiate it. What's going on? Did he fall asleep? Did he leave it in the car for some reason? Did he take his gear off and go to the bathroom and it fell? You know, what happened? So we initiate that contact. That's why we call there's accountability.
Going back to how you're saying you recommend guns and gear and those things, what kind of guns are you recommending?
The standard Glock.
Okay.
My son has 2 Glocks. We're getting ready to buy a third one. So we each will have 3 Glocks. That's what we carry. The reason is because, like I said, the police use it. It's industry standard. We all carry 9mm. So if crap hits the fan, hey,
Share mags.
yeah, boom, throw them, got it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so we're doing that. So we suggest Glocks. They don't have to, but anybody that's on teams, hey, we want you to get a Glock.
The people that apply with you and go through the first is just training, and then in the second week is orientation, right? So the first training is just you need to get certified first.
Right, if you're not licensed,
Yeah.
correct.
The people that go through that first week, what percentage of people that come in to try and get on board with your company would you say don't make the cut?
Well, there's a lot of factors that we look into it.
Yeah.
As far as someone that we wouldn't want to pick up, because sometimes on the academy side we can cherry pick,
Yeah.
right? We cherry pick.
Yeah.
Hey, this guy's good. This guy's good. This guy's not. And when we say the cut, it could be something as simple as the way they carry themselves.
Yeah.
It's not professional. They don't keep a decent hygiene.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to work hard. You know, yeah, man. You know, I had one guy tell me, man, you know, you act like you're in the military, man. You know, you this, you that, and you know, man, this ain't that serious. No, serious. And I said, yeah, it's not that serious till someone's trying to kill you.
Exactly.
Because you're trying to do your job. Now all of a sudden you're going to be wishing you had the training to know what to do and when to do it.
Exactly.
So, you know, I'm one of those guys. I'd rather have a tool that I only use once.
Exactly.
But when I needed it, man, it made my job 5 minutes instead of 4 hours.
Yeah.
right? So we get those guys, and when we look at that, it's attitude mainly. We have officers that come in, oh, I know everything.
No, you
No,
don't.
you don't.
So it's like first is the attitude, and then
Attitude.
the rest when it comes to getting certified. After that, it would be okay. Now let's implement the training for how we want you to do things, basically.
Mhm.
But initially, it is like how you.
It's attitude, and then the willingness and the wanting to learn.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense.
If they don't want to learn,
Yeah.
then we don't have no use for them.
Mm.
Because I'm 60, right? I've been in the industry for quite a long time. I've been doing martial arts since I was 5. People call me master. I said, I'm not no master. I'm just a self-defense instructor. I'm still learning. I learn something new every day. So to say that you've arrived, you just canceled yourself. I've never stand in front of another man and not expect to learn something.
Mm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what we want. We want officers that want to learn. Because at the end of the day, we don't want you to be our officer. We want you to be in the upper brass where you're making serious money. Where now you got paid vacations, you got sick time, you're not out there in the sweat. You're moving up. You want to move up. That's how you make money. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
But the guy at the bottom that's making it isn't making it.
Mm.
He's making it happen for the guy who's the owner. But him himself, he's not. So we encourage people, educate yourself so that you can move up.
You were talking about the guns earlier. When it comes to holsters and just like duty gear, what do you recommend when it comes to that kind of stuff?
Well, any of the majors, you can't go wrong. Farland, Blackhawk, any of those majors, you can't go wrong. There are some that we don't like within each company. We try to stay away from the index one, right? Because when we go to the art of the draw under duress, a lot of guys will slap that and then do this number and they'll pull. So we suggest the thumb.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't have that issue. Keep your finger index. So we tell them, hey, try to stay away from that. Again, it's up to them. If we're going to hire them, this is what you need. Don't get anything else.
And then things like handcuffs, batons, tasers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you go for like the branded, like the good branded ones?
Yes. Again, because of liability. Right? If you buy something from China that we never heard of,
Yeah.
and our officers deployed it and it didn't work,
Yeah.
well, officers now are in where they can get hurt. So, in fact, my partner just bought a bunch of taser cartridges, and we actually deploy tasers during training. So we have a suit, a taser suit that we have. And so the officers actually get to deploy it,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually are taught how to actually debar.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't do it within a minute, leave it and let EMS take it,
Okay.
because you have to call EMS after that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, in fact, a lot of guys that took our taser course that came to requal, well, I didn't know all that. How'd you get your taser?
Paid $50 extra.
So,
What kind of brands do you like?
it's Exion is one of them that we use. The other one's the XP26.
That's for taser, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What about like batons, handcuffs?
Haas, Manadoc, Smith & Wesson. Those are basically the ones that we utilize.
Okay, and then when it comes to like the uniform, the footwear, the pants, the shirts, the vests, those things, what do you guys like for those kind of things?
Well, we did a lot of research and development, my partner and I, Hernandez, on what gear we wanted.
Yeah.
And being that we're one of the few companies that have special teams, we had to do a diversion of, okay, this be the standard for the security officer, our standard security officer. This will be the standard for a fugitive recovery team or a MARSOC team.
You're into that too?
Yes.
Okay.
So when we talk about uniforms, we pick out a uniform that it's comfortable but rugged, and same with the pants, same with the boots, the external carrier, We typically go with Condor.
Okay.
It varies on the actual body armor. Sometimes we use the Self-Defense Company, I think it's called.
Okay.
Their body armor. It just depends on the officer. I like a rigid body armor, which is also knife staff proof.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some that are soft body armor that are knife proof and slash proof.
Yeah.
I just don't like the penetration. It'll give, and if you hit a 45 and your center is like oof. But if you have a rigid one, it kind of depresses it. Yeah. But it's also not as comfortable because it doesn't mold to your body. So it's a give and go on that one.
Okay. Before we wrap up, I've got a couple more questions. So first of all, how long were you in the field for? Like as a guard, security guard officer? 10,
15 maybe.
All right. So give me the wildest encounter that you've had.
I was somewhere out in Fulshire, and the company got their copper stolen or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So they said, "Hey, we need a security officer. Could you go out there?" So I said, "Okay, sure. That's what I do." So went out there, and they had a generator for the light because it was pitch dark. One way in, it was one road. It wasn't even on the map yet. That's how new the road was. So one way in, and then they had the homes, and so they had all the brass and stuff around the light. No other light. So I'm in my truck and I'm just sitting there. And then I hear like a car, and I'm looking down the road and I don't see no light. So I'm like, okay. And then I stepped out of my vehicle and it's behind me where the equipment is. So I turn around and I'm going towards the equipment, and I was going to go through, but I stopped. I said, no, I'll go around. I don't want to be lit. Man, I started coming around, shotgun blast, hit right where I was standing to the right of me. I drew my gun out, and I saw where the flash came, so I popped two, and then I went around. And then there was a truck. So it starts up the car, or the truck. It's taking off, and I'm popping it because there's a road a quarter of a mile behind, but it's a field. So they came from that other road behind me, and they were going to load up, and they shot at me. I called. This happened around 2. The sheriffs were not able to find me till 5 a.m.
Damn.
Because the road was not known.
Maps, yeah.
So they came and said, well, how many times was he shot? I said, I think shot once. He shot twice at me. I didn't know. Because I was coming around, he shot again, and he shot where the pallets were. And I didn't know because there was 2 shells. And so I said, yeah, I know he hit here. And he goes, because it was light now, and you can see where the other shot was at. So he went boom, and he saw me move, and he shot again. So I was like, what?
For a little bit of money, man.
Yeah, I was getting paid at that time $15 an hour.
Damn. When was that?
That was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
My son was probably around 3, 4 maybe at that time.
All right, so tell the people where they can learn about your academy and where they can find you.
Well, we're located in Jersey Village, 8535 Jackrabbit Road, Suite A. And the academy is located there, as well as Vigilant Protection Division. We have over 12,000 square feet total.
That's a lot of space.
Oh yeah. We went big because we weren't going to go home.
Yeah.
And 8,000 of that is dedicated to the training area. So we have a area where we do our judgment pistol shooting. We have an area where we teach our hand-to-hand defensive tactics. We have 2 classrooms. My son teaches the firearms portion. So we have a simulator with a 150-inch screen. So you can shoot at targets and judgment pistol shooting entry level 1. That's where we'll do weapon retention, crisis weapon recovery in the defensive tactics area. There we'll do disassembly, reassembly of the weapons and stuff like that. The vigilant on the security side, bring a resume, come tight and upright. be professional, no chanclas and shorts and a long shirt. Is like, come on, you're going to an interview.
Yeah.
You know, present yourself in a professional manner because that's what we're looking for is professionalism. You know, we offer several disciplines in the academy because we also teach self-defense to civilians. And we do that on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And a lot of times we'll get different, either law enforcement, they'll drop in, some special operations teams sometimes will drop in. But we teach civilians, soccer moms, you know.
Is that like is it a class or is it like, you know, when you go to like, you know, I joined jiu-jitsu, you know, it's like you go 3 times a week or whatever,
Yeah.
monthly pay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like that.
It's like that. There's different disciplines. So the first discipline that you learn is the hand-to-hand defensive tactics.
Yeah.
And then escape and evade, right? And then the level 2 is where we're dealing with weapons now. The most common weapon, blunt force weapon, edge weapon, firearm. How to deal with them. Not only how to procure them, but utilize them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a liability.
Yeah, for sure.
So what good is it you can take a gun away if you don't know how to tap, rack, and assess?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not loaded. Blunt force weapon now, right? So, you know, it's stuff like that even a civilian needs to know. We also have officers, security, that'll drop in. Hey, yeah, could you teach me weapon retention? I said, okay, not a problem. I go, just understand that in this class, it's going to be watered down. It's not going to be totally focused just on that. But you can come in and you can get a cross-board training from how to deal with the defensive tactics and not looking like you want a problem. Because one of a lot of issues that I see in defensive training for security officers is that get in the ready position. Well, that's a fighting position. You're trying to de-escalate, but you're given the wrong visual cues.
Yeah.
You need to put your hands up, say, hey, wait a minute, now it's in defensive posture. So now, even if he's not listening to you, he sees what you're doing.
So all these things, when it comes into like developing the classes and the training and stuff like that, is that what you do?
Yeah. Well, as a founder, I'm the founder of the system, Dark Gift Combat Fighting System. People say, wow, Dark Gift Combat, oh, man, that's some tonic and all this. I said, dark is the darkest part of human nature. The thug, the punk, the thief, the guy that wants to hurt you.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the gift to combat that dark side.
Yeah.
Now, there is a negative connotation to when I train military people. Yeah, it's a dark gift of combat. But it's like the yin and yang, right? A gun isn't bad inherently in and of itself. The one that wields it is.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can't blame the weapon. You blame the handler.
Who's holding it?
Right? So as a developer, I develop courses that I see a need for. Good example is I took tobacco, alcohol, their entire year of training, Sheriff's Department, HPD. The 4 major attacks on security, civilian, and officers: hand, knife, gun, stick. But none of the agencies teach how to defend against those 4 most common. Why? It's a liability. Bang! It's easy.
Yeah.
No good. No way, no. So we make sure we teach what is needed. Spontaneous edge weapon, like just in the edge weapon, for example, there's path of the invading blade, which is military based. Path of the defending blade, which is someone who carries a knife. And then spontaneous edge weapon response. That's for security and law enforcement. All of a sudden there's a knife. Okay. Most systems, grab your gun. Well, you can't because you're going to get cut. And if you get cut, you may not be able to fire. So your first weapon is your mind. Your second weapon is your hands. Your third weapon is now your firearm. Defend yourself first and then get to the weapon. So in our system, Dark Gift Combat Systems, it's a hybrid. We call it bridging the gap. Most systems are what we call solo, right? Empty hand self-defense, firearm. Okay. I got a guy 3 feet from me. I'm going to try to draw. He's going to stop me. Or he's going to knock me out because he hits me before I get to my draw. Yeah. So we call bridging the gap. we go into empty hand into weapon procurement, creating either space or terminating it. Right? So I teach the combative defense tactics has to neutralize the opponent within 4 seconds or less so that you can go to your tertiary, whatever that may be. Sometimes it means running. Because some officers are unarmed, level 2.
Yeah.
They don't have anything on them to protect them. So they have to be taught effective defensive tactics that will help them in real world situations.
Okay. So, lastly, would you have or do you have any tips just for the general person?
We call it the 3Ds: detect, diffuse, defend, or destroy. Detect the problem. Be aware of your surroundings.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
If you detect a problem, you don't have to diffuse it. You don't have to defend it. And ultimately, hopefully, you don't have to destroy it. Right? But you still want to be able to diffuse it, how to de-escalate, how to talk down the fight. Right? Hey, man, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Be apologetic. Don't let your ego catch it. Right? If you're able to detect it and then you diffuse it, you don't have to defend it or destroy it. But you need to have those disciplines to be able to, at the end of the day, go home. Because sometimes the person that wants to hurt you doesn't care about you. They just want the $10 that you have in your pocket. That's it. So, I tell people the 3Ds: detect, diffuse, defend.